This building cost more than $6 billion to construct. It has no factory. It makes no product. And for 355 days a year, it just sits there. So why do billionaires keep lining up to build them? Today, we're breaking down the real economics of owning a football stadium, the money, the traps, and the one number every owner is chasing. Let's start with the sticker price. SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, home to two NFL teams, ended up costing somewhere between $5.5 and nearly $7 billion once you adjust for inflation, making it the most expensive sports venue ever built. Across the Atlantic, Tottenham's new home in London ran north of $1.3 billion. And it wasn't even built for football alone. It has a retractable pitch just to host NFL games too. Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas came in around $2 billion. These aren't buildings anymore. They're small nations' worth of infrastructure spending, steel, seismic engineering, retractable roofs, and enough concrete to bury a small town. Here's the part that surprises most people. Owners rarely pay for the whole thing themselves. Many NFL and soccer stadiums are partly funded by public money. City and state governments chip in through tax breaks, bonds, or direct grants, betting that the stadium will boost local jobs and tourism. SoFi Stadium is actually one of the rare exceptions. It was built almost entirely with private money from its owner. Most others aren't so private. Cities justify the spending by promising economic growth. But independent economists have studied this for decades, and the consensus is blunt. Publicly funded stadiums almost never pay back what taxpayers put in. The jobs are often seasonal, low-wage, and the economic boost rarely outlasts the ribbon-cutting ceremony. So if the construction math looks brutal, how does anyone profit? The answer is, the stadium itself becomes a year-round revenue machine, as long as football is only part of what it does. First, naming rights. Companies pay tens of millions of dollars a year just to put their logo on the building. It's pure profit with almost no extra cost to the owner. Second, luxury suites and premium seating. A handful of corporate boxes can generate more revenue than thousands of regular seats combined, because companies pay for the experience, not just the view. Third, non-event days. This is the real secret. A stadium that only hosts football is a stadium that loses money 350 plus days a year. The smart-assed owners turn their venues into concert halls, wrestling arenas, Olympic venues, even World Cup hosts. SoFi Stadium alone was designed from day one to host Super Bowls, championship games, and world tours, because empty stadiums don't pay bills, but a fully booked calendar does. And fourth, the surrounding real estate. Increasingly, the stadium isn't the business. It's the anchor for a much bigger development. Retail, hotels, apartments, and offices built around it are often where the real long-term profit lies. Here's what doesn't show up in the highlight reel. Maintenance. A modern stadium isn't just built once. It needs constant upgrades to stay competitive. Roofs fail. Technology becomes outdated within a decade. Montreal's Olympic Stadium became infamous for this. Its roof problems alone pushed maintenance costs into the billions over the years, on a building that never even turned a profit for the city that built it. Then there's depreciation, insurance, security for tens of thousands of fans, and debt servicing if the stadium was financed with loans or bonds. Owning a stadium isn't a one-time investment. It's a decades-long financial commitment that keeps demanding cash long after the opening ceremony ends. So why do it at all? Because for most owners, the stadium was never really the product. The club is. A modern, revenue-generating stadium dramatically increases what the entire franchise is worth. Teams that control their own stadium keep every dollar from suites, sponsorships, and non-match day events, instead of splitting it with a landlord. That's a big reason clubs like Real Madrid poured well over $1 billion into rebuilding their historic home, nearly funding the whole renovation from the club's own record-breaking revenues, rather than from outside investors. The stadium becomes collateral. Brand, and cash engine all at once, and when the club eventually gets sold, a state-of-the-art stadium can add billions to the final price tag. Of course, not every bet pays off. Cities have been left holding decades of debt for stadiums that lost their main tenant. Teams have relocated, leaving taxpayers to keep paying off bonds for a building nobody uses anymore. Some stadiums built for a single global event, an Olympics, a World Cup, become expensive ghost towns the moment the world stops watching. The economics only work when a stadium stays busy. The moment it goes quiet, it turns from an asset into a liability almost overnight. If you want to see how the clubs inside these stadiums make their money, that video's right here. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.